Sometimes it's clear that a player just isn't good enough for your club, but there's also rare occasions of a player actually being too good for your club. So let's look at 13 players who are just too good for their current team. And while you're on, follow me on Twitter, I'm at HITC James. Anyway, number 1, Jack Grealish. If Aston Villa didn't have Jack Grealish, they'd probably be rock bottom of the Premier League. To be honest, they probably wouldn't even have made it out of the Championship. The midfielder's having an incredible season, and you can pretty much guarantee that when Villa score, he's going to have played a part in it. All he's done is prove how good he is this season, and that he's actually capable of playing at an even higher level than Villa. He's their talisman and he's a local lad, but Grealish must have European and England aspirations that he might not be able to achieve at Villa Park. Number 2, Alfredo Morelos. Rangers have a chance at winning the Scottish Premiership this season, and a big reason why is the goals of Alfredo Morelos. The club main striker has been lethal in front of goal, while also sorting out disciplinary problems. Sort of, even if he did get a late red card against Celtic in the Old Firm. Morelos already has nearly 30 goals in all competitions for Steven Gerrard's side, and it's clear that he can go on to play at an even higher level. Rangers will command a huge fee, but eventually they'll be powerless to stop Morelos leaving Ibrox. 3. Sander Berge. A midfielder who's been linked with a move away from Genk for ages, that should tell you all you need to know about the Norwegian youngster's talents. Considering he's even been looked at by runaway Premier League leaders Liverpool, it's fairly obvious he's a class above in the Belgian league, not just his own club Genk. He's a powerhouse in the middle of the park, capable of winning back possession, but he can also play as well, a lad who keeps the ball expertly with his balance and glorious passing range. Berge has shown in the Champions League that he can look at home against Europe's elite, and he'll be playing alongside them when he eventually leaves Genk. 4. Wilfried Zaha. We've been banging this drum for years, but Wilfried Zaha is still too good for Crystal Palace, yet transfer window after transfer window, he's priced out of a move away from Selhurst Park. It seems like Zaha is just going to be stuck with Palace forever, and a big move may have passed him by, even if he consistently proves that he's a player who should get the chance to test himself in the Champions League. Zaha carries Palace in a similar way to Grealish at Villa, although Zaha has reportedly been a lot more vocal about his desire to leave his current club. Zaha is too good for Crystal Palace, but he might never get the chance to truly prove it. Number 5, Nabil Fekir. When Liverpool were linked with Nabil Fekir in 2018, it seemed like the Frenchman was going to be the second coming of Philippe Coutinho. But that deal didn't happen, leaving fans wondering whether they'd missed out on a golden opportunity to sign one of Europe's most coveted attackers. He finally left Lyon last summer, but to the shock of everyone, it wasn't to join one of the top clubs in the world. Instead, Fekir went from France to Spain, joining Real Betis for just shy of €20 million. That's a third of the price Liverpool were set to pay. Betis are a mid-table side in La Liga, despite Fekir's efforts, and it seems like he really should have held out for a bigger move. Even Liverpool, for all their talents, would still probably benefit from him. Number 6, Nathan Ake. Bournemouth are on a horrendous run right now, and are seemingly on a collision course towards the Championship. But one player who is certainly above that is Nathan Ake. Despite their struggles, the Cherries really have some top young players, and for me, Ake is the best of the lot, which is why he's a Netherlands international among the golden generation that seem to be developing there. You forget that Ake is only 24, having emerged at Chelsea so young, but he's really built on his career since then, as one of the best defenders outside of the traditional top 6 in the Premier League. Ake will go for big money one day, and it might be this summer if Bournemouth fail to survive. 7. Kalvin Phillips. A player from the second tier of English football, Kalvin Phillips has actually been touted for an England call-up not too long ago, and that's how good he is for Leeds United under Marcelo Bielsa. As far as holding midfielders go, Phillips is right up there, comfortable with the ball anywhere on the pitch, picking passes and starting attacks from deep. And even better, he can also drop into defence and keep the ball out of his own net. The longer he stays in the Championship, the more likely it is that he leaves Ellen Road, so they'll be desperate to win promotion and prove that the club actually can be good enough for a player like Phillips. Number 8, Dani Olmo. A graduate of Barcelona's famed youth academy, you often wonder how Dani Olmo ended up playing his football in Croatia. The playmaker joined Dinamo Zagreb in 2014 at the age of 16, and now he's being touted for a move back to the Camp Nou. That's how good Olmo's become in Croatia, performing excellently in multiple competitions. Whether it's domestically, in the Champions League, or for the Spanish youth sides, Olmo steps up and stands out, which is why his departure from Zagreb is inevitable. They'll know they can't keep a player of his quality forever, and they'll get a huge amount of money when he leaves. When he goes is another question, as there'll be clubs all over Europe wanting to make Olmo their main man already, even at the age of 21. Number 9, Milot Rashica. Kosovo are one of Europe's up-and-coming teams, as England found out not too long ago, and one of their brightest players is Milot Rashica. A pacey winger with an eye for goal, Rashica currently plays his football in Germany for Werder Bremen, but things aren't going well for the 23-year-old. Bremen are battling relegation this season, which is below a player of Rashica's quality, who must wonder why his teammates can't step up and play at his level. The longer Werder Bremen struggle, the sooner Rashica will get a move to a club of his calibre. Number 10, Bruno Fernandes. Okay, so the other day I admitted not to have seen a lot of Bruno Fernandes live, other than in the Nations League or highlight compilations, but it doesn't take a genius to know that he's a player too good for his current club. It's happened a million times before at Sporting, who have a habit of producing genuinely world-class players, say Cristiano Ronaldo for reference, and Fernandes is the next who is just simply destined for bigger things. He's a leader, he's intelligent and he scores goals, but can he really achieve all of his ambitions in Portugal? I don't think so. Number 11, Jude Bellingham. He's only 16, but Birmingham City already know that Jude Bellingham isn't going to be a Blue for much longer. Despite not being old enough to actually drink, the young midfielder is a force in the Championship, making players 10 years older than him look foolish in comparison. Tipped for the top, Jude Bellingham is already too good for Birmingham. Sorry lads. 12, Donny van der Beek. A midfielder who survived the Ajax exodus, the Dutchman is clearly going to start playing at a higher level next summer. Ajax can't keep players like Van der Beek, that's why the likes of Matthijs de Ligt already moved on. Whether it's to Manchester City or one of Spain's elite sides, Van der Beek will have the pick of some of the best clubs in world football, and rightly so because he's a joy to watch, playing a key role last season as Ajax made it all the way to the Champions League semis. He'll win that trophy at some point in his career, but for who? And finally, number 13, Kylian Mbappe. We've saved the biggest and best for last, but for me, Kylian Mbappe is bigger than PSG. Sure, the cash-rich Parisians are one of Europe's best, but they're playing in a league that they're going to win 99 times out of 100. In contrast, Mbappe is going to be the best in the world when Messi decides to finally call it a day. Mbappe can play for an even bigger club than PSG, and even there he'll probably still be too good. He's just that talented a footballer, and a young man who's only going to get better, which is a terrifying thought. Will we ever see him in the Premier League? We live in hope. #Mbappe 2020. So that's 13 players who are too good for their clubs. Let us know anyone you think we've missed in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.